everybody, this is Laia Mallafré and I'm a second year student of Biomedical Sciences at King's College London, specializing in neuropharmacology, and I'm going to be one of your tutors at the Developmental Neuroscience Academy as part of my internship. How did I get here? That's a good question. Well, I'm originally Spanish, so I just did the regular Spanish kind of high school system, and then I decided to apply to the UK through UCAS like everybody else. And initially it was my backup plan, and I was not planning on coming to the UK, but then I went to the offer holder events, which is something I highly recommend if you're looking to study in university. And then kind of decided from then that it was like my place to be and what I wanted to do. So it was like a kind of last minute decision, but I think it was one of the best decisions of my life, and I'm really glad. Why biomed? Well, I've always been interested in biology. I've always loved biology, and when it was kind of time to decide, like the natural choice kind of seemed medicine, but I just have never had that vocation for medicine. Like, as much as I love biology and anatomy and everything like that, which I'm still studying biomed, I never really wanted to be a doctor, which is like what you do as your career after you study medicine. And I was always really interested in helping people, but I've always been really curious, so I was more interested in the aspect of like why things happen and like the root of the cause of diseases, which is basically what we do in biomed. And neuropharmacology more specifically, well, neuro is something I've always liked, just because there's so much to know about the brain and there's still so much to discover, which is something I find really interesting, especially wanting to go into research. And further studies like master's or PhD, although I'm still not sure. I have a year to decide. And then, for pharmacology, it was just something that through King's, in my first year when we could choose, we had like compulsory modules in the first year, and we kind of got to experience a bit of like everything in the field of biosciences. I just really liked pharmacology, and when they presented us with this theme of study for second and third year, I just decided it was like the perfect one for me. And my areas of interest within neuropharmacology, which I kind of have discovered the second year, would be kind of pain processing and pain-related diseases, also neurodegeneration, and as well as psychiatric diseases. And so these are kind of the main modules that I'm going to be taking in my third year. So I will be taking perspective of pain and nervous system disorders. I'm also taking memory mechanisms of health and disease, and another psychiatric and neurological disorder-based module, as well as a lab dissertation. So that way I can really see if I like working in a lab in that long term of time, because when you do it as a dissertation, you're going to be working in a lab in 3 days a week during the semester in which you take your dissertation. And that way kind of, I feel like from then on, I will really know if I do want to go into a research master's or more of an academic-based master's, or if I want to go directly into a PhD, which is something I'm also wondering and kind of considering. Other things I've done at university would be mostly societies and extracurriculars. So during my first year, I took the King's Enterprise Award, which is basically like a series of workshops that you can do throughout the year about entrepreneurship. And then at the end of it, you get kind of a title and recognition in your academic record at university that you have completed that. There's many experience awards, and you'll see that I talk about this in one of the blogs that we publish on the website. And so that's one of the things that I've done. I'm also involved in societies. I'm in just part of the biomedical student societies. I don't really have a role there, but you can become part of the committee if you really like. But I'm in the committee of GKT, which is Guy's, King's and St. Thomas's Society for Musical Theatre, and I participated in the musical on my first year, and then I'm part of the committee this year because I'm the choreographer for next year. Then I'm also attend kind of socials of the Snow Sports Society, which they hold like a snow week and a trip to the Alps or somewhere around Europe to ski. And they also have sessions in a artificial snow site close to London, as well as the Catalan Society, which I'm a part of the committee for. And that sounds like a lot, but you can kind of, there aren't events every single week, which kind of is really useful for you to organize yourself. And I have always been a very active person, so I'm used to having a lot on my plate, and I really like it. I'd say is one of my favorite things about university is having the opportunity to meet people from so many different backgrounds, especially through societies, because you don't necessarily have the same degree as them, but you have something in common, and I feel like that brings you together. And it is really nice to meet just people from all over the world, especially at London, because there's so many international students, which for me was especially welcoming, because it made me feel kind of right at home and not out of place.